Hi, everybody. I'm live. Hello. Oh, crossing my legs. Hi. Oof, I'm late. I'm sorry, I'm late. I just had just ate a delivery of a brownie hot out of the oven. Yummy. Hello, I'm Kristen. I'm the library director for the Island Free Library on Block Island. And this is a daily short story program for adult listeners. It is on this YouTube channel every day at 3 p.m. I am generally live. I am today. It is 3:08 or something like that. So I'm generally not late, maybe a minute or two, but I'm generally live on this channel. So if you subscribe to this YouTube channel right now, or after the program, you'll get a little message about how Frankenstein Tea is coming up soon. Hi, Dad. It is Tuesday afternoon. We're busy. We're not very busy. We just discussed this, right, in the office. We're like, somebody said, we're not very busy. I said, I think we're really busy. I think we're busy. I think people have been coming in and out of here all day. But we're still safe. We're wearing our masks. We're behind plexiglass. Patrons are wearing their masks. No one stays here too long. We have accommodations for you if you do need to stay here too long. We'll see what happens next. I don't know what's going to happen next. I can't tell these things. I really can't. But for today, we're open, and I'm here to read you a story. So I'm going to read Grace Paley today. This is the Collected Stories. It's not a book in our collection. It's a book in my own collection. It's from the book sale. And I didn't really know Grace Paley. I started to come across her a little as we started to read short stories together. And boy, these are tough stories. It's not. I had a hunt for something that was not as bleak as the weather is, right? I had to really hunt for something that wasn't really like bang your head on the table kind of thing. Oof. And I don't mind reading those stories always. I think there's value in that. Or even if there isn't, that's okay. But these are particularly tough. So I think I found something to read, but I do want to start with the dedication because I liked it. I read it yesterday, and I think I want to read it today. So this is Grace Paley, The Collected Stories, copyright 1994, and it's Farrar, Straus, and Giroux out of New York. It's a pretty title page, huh? Yeah, that's pretty. So what did I say? 1994. This is what she writes. It seems right to dedicate this collection to my friend, Sybil Claiborne, my colleague in the writing and mother trade. I visited her fifth-floor apartment on Barrow Street one day in 1957. There, before my very eyes, were her two husbands, disappointed by the eggs. After that, we talked and talked for nearly 40 years. Then she died. 3 days before that, she said slowly, and with the delicacy of an unsatisfied person with only a dozen words left, Grace, the real question is, how are we to live our lives? I offer that to you on this Tuesday afternoon. The real question is, how are we to live our lives? And then I read a bunch of, as I said, tough stories. Tough. And then I bet you they're not all tough in here. There's a lot of stories in here, but I read a few yesterday. And then I read this one, and I was going to read it yesterday. And then if you were on yesterday, you know that then I went home and read from a book at home. And so this one is for today. It's Love by Grace Paley. First, I wrote this poem. Walking up the slate path of the college park, under the nearly full moon, the brown oak leaves are red as maples. And I have been looking at the young people. They speak and embrace one another. Because of them, I thought I would descend into remembering love. So I let myself down hand over hand until my feet touched the earth of the gardens of Vesey Street. I told my husband, I've just written a poem about love. What a good idea, he said. Then he told me about Sally Johnson on Lake Winnipesaukee, who was 12 and a half when he was 14. Then he told me about Rosemarie Johansson on Lake Sunapee. Then he told me about Jane Marston in Concord High. And then he told me about Mary Smith of Radcliffe when he was a poet at Harvard. Then he told me about two famous poets, one fair and one dark, both now dead, when he was a secret poet working at an acceptable trade in an office without windows. When at last he came to my time, that is, the past 15 years or so. So he told me about Dottie Wasserman. Hold on, I said. What do you mean, Dottie Wasserman? She's a character in a book. She's not even a person. Okay, he said. Then why Vesey Street? What's that? Well, it's nothing special. I used to be in love with a guy who was a shrub buyer. Vesey Street was the downtown garden center of the city when the city still had wonderful centers of commerce. I used to walk the kids there when they were little carriage babies, half asleep. Maybe take the ferry to Hoboken. Years later, I'd bike down there Sundays, ride round and round. I even saw him about 3 times. No kidding, said my husband. How come I don't know the guy? Ugh, the stupidity of the beloved. It's you, I said. Anyway, what's this baloney about you and Dottie Wasserman? Nothing much. She was this crazy kid who hung around the bars, but she didn't drink. Really, it was for the men, you know. Neither did I. Drink too much, I mean. I was just hoping to get laid once in a while, or maybe meet someone and fall madly in love. He is that romantic. Sometimes I wonder if loving me in this homey life in middle age, with 2 sets of bedroom slippers, one a skin of sandal for summer, and the other pair lined with cozy sheepskin, it must be a disappointing experience for him. He made a polite bridge over my conjectures. He said, she was also this funny mother in the park, years later, when we were all doing that municipal politics, and I was married to Josephine. Dottie and I were both delegates to that famous Kansas City National Meeting of Town Meetings, NMTM. Remember? Some woman. No, I said, that's not true. She was made up. Just plain invented in the late 50s. Oh, he said, then it was after that. I must have met her afterward. He is stubborn, so I dropped the subject and went to get the groceries. Our shrinking family requires more coffee, more eggs, more cheese, less butter, less meat, less orange juice, more grapefruit. Walking along the street, encountering no neighbor, I hummed a little up and down tune and continued jostling time with the help of my nice, reconnoitering brain. Here I was, experiencing the old earth of Vesey Street, breathing in and out, with more attention to the process than is usual in the late morning, all because of love, probably. How interesting the way it glides to solid, invented figures from true, remembered wraiths. By God, I thought, the lover is real. The heart of the lover continues. It has been propagandized from birth. I passed our local bookstore, which was doing well with the joy of all sex underpinning its prosperity. The owner gave me a dependable customer of poorly advertised books, an affectionate smile. He was a great success. He didn't know that 3 years later his rent would be tripled. He would become a sad failure, and the landlord, feeling himself brilliant, an outwitting entrepreneur, a star in the microeconomic heavens, would be the famous success. From half a block away, I could see the kale in the grocer's bin, crumbles of ice shining the dark leaves. In interior counter view, I imagined my husband's North Country fields, the late autumn frost in the curly green. I began to mumble a new poem. In the grocer's bin, the green kale shines. In the North Country, it stands sweet with frost, dark and curly in a garden of tan hay and light white snow. Light white. I said that a couple of questioning times. Suddenly, my outside eye saw a fine-looking woman named Margaret, who hadn't spoken to me in 2 years. We'd had many years of political agreement before some matters relating to the Soviet Union separated us. In the angry months during which we were both right in many ways, she took away with her to her political position and daily friendship my own best friend, Louise, my lifelong park, PTA, and anti-war movement sister, Louise. In a hazy litter of love and leafy green vegetables, I saw Margaret's good face, and before I remembered our serious difference, I smiled. At the same moment, she knew me and smiled. So foolish is the true lover when responded to that I took her hand as we passed, bent to it, pressed it to my cheek, and touched it with my lips. I described all this to my husband at supper time. Well, of course, he said. Don't you know? The smile was for Margaret, but really you do miss Louise a lot. And the kiss was for Louise. We both said, ah. Then we talked over the way the SALT treaty looked more like a floor than a ceiling, read a poem written by one of his daughters, looked at a TV show telling the destruction of the European textile industry, and then made love. In the morning, he said, "You're some lover, you know?" He said, "You really are. You remind me a lot of Dottie Wasserman." That was Grace Paley from the Collected Stories. That story was called Love. I send love out to you all today. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying yourselves and keeping yourselves healthy. Wear your masks, wash your hands, keep your distance, eat your vegetables, get some good sleep, think kind thoughts, don't compare yourself to others, get outside, breathe fresh air. Be in contact with people that bring you joy. The others, forget about them. Here's my new mask. Okay, everybody. Much love. Enjoy the day. Bye. Bye, Dad. Peace.